Hi, this is Mike McCrease, and welcome once again to Advanced Photoshop. This time around, we're going to explore a really simple but amazing technique called content-aware scale. And with content-aware scale, you might think of it as like the free transform tool on steroids. And with content-aware scale, you can scale the background of an image without affecting the subject. And this allows the user to adjust an image to the exact size, perhaps for a particular publication requirement. For example, maybe we've got a picture that is 4 by 6 inches, and when it's going to be published, it's got to be published at 4 by 5 inches, and you don't want to stretch the picture because that would distort it. But you can use content-aware fill to make the picture fit into the document window without distorting the subject matter. It's easier illustrated than described, so let's just go ahead and get started right now. I'm going to open up a picture I've downloaded from Blackboard called Prom Dresses. Okay, so I've got the file opened, and I'm going to turn on my rulers by pressing Control or Command R. And you can see that the image is 12 inches wide and 8 inches tall. Let's say that this is going to be published in a magazine, and we only have space for an 8 by 10 inch picture. Okay, if I were to use the free transform tool and bring that in to where it's 10 inches, look what it does to the picture. It looks absolutely horrible. So we're going to use this new technique that is going to allow us to scale the picture without cropping it and without distorting the figure. Let's start by copying our layer. I'll just press Command J, and I'm going to turn off Layer 0. Now I'm going to go to my Edit menu and choose Content Aware Scale. And there's a keyboard shortcut of Alternate Shift Control C or Option Shift Command C on the Macintosh. And when we do that, we see that there is a bounding box appears around it with handles, much like what you would see with the free transform tool. I'm going to click on this side handle right here. I'm going to drag that to the right. And you see what Photoshop is doing is detecting what is the content of the picture, the subjects, and differentiates that from the background. And so as I drag this in, you see that the figures are not being distorted, but the background is being compressed. I'll drag the other handle and bring that in. Now if I continue to bring it in more and more, Photoshop has nothing else to do but to actually compress the content of the picture, and then it becomes distorted and looks rather obnoxious. But up to this point, it's all protected pretty well. Okay, so let's hit Escape, not commit to that transformation, and then I'm going to choose that again, Edit Content Aware Scale. And this time, I'm going to select this little figure up here at the top. When I click on this little figure, that's going to help it to detect a human figure in the picture, so that when I compress the image now, it does its very best to keep from compressing the figures. So it detects skin tones and tries to protect those, and it does a pretty good job up until we get to about 9 inches or so, and then it has no resort except to actually compress the picture. But if we don't do it too much, we might be able to actually get away with that. So here we've gotten down from an 8 by 12 image down to an 8 by 9 inch image without suffering any significant distortion in the picture. I'm going to break that back down to the 10 inches, just so that there's no distortion, and I'll press return or enter to commit to those changes. Now there's another technique we can use, which is where we create and save a selection, and then we have content aware scale protect that selected area, which gives you even more control. Let me show you what I mean. Let's go back to our layers panel, and I'm going to go ahead and hide layer 0 copy, and let's take our original image and copy that again and turn it on. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is make a selection. I'm going to use the polygonal lasso tool because it gives me a little more control, and let's set our feathering option up here to 10 pixels. I'm just going to draw a selection around the girl on the left hand side. She is the most important part of this image, so this is the area that I want to protect above all others. Now I'm giving myself a little bit of leeway there. Mind you, I'm feathering this 10 pixels, and I'm feathering it so I have a nice blended transition when we go to use the content aware scale. Okay, so I've got my selection. I'm going to save the selection. I'll choose select and save selection. We'll call it left girl. And deselect. Make certain you deselect. Now let's go to our edit menu and choose content aware scale. And up here on the options bar where it says protect none, we're going to click that drop down menu and we're going to choose our saved selection, which is called left girl. And now I'm going to drag the right center handle to the left, and you can see that she is protected. We're sacrificing the other pixels, but she is protected until Photoshop has no recourse but to compress her. But because we saved that selection, I can pull this in. I can probably squeeze this in quite a bit. If I bring it down to 9, it looks pretty bad, but I can bring it into about 9.5 inches there, or 9 3/4, without suffering any serious defects. Now you can see that the three girls on the right are being compressed, but again our protected figure is not. And just press return or enter, and there is our finished result. So this is a technique, though it doesn't work in every situation. It can be very helpful, especially if you're in the publishing business. And again, let me just open up my panels here. We can toggle these on and off. There's before and there's after. But again, if you are transforming an image, you never ever want to stretch or compress that picture with the free transform tool, because it looks awful. Really, really, really bad. So don't do that. Use the content aware fill option if it works in that situation, or crop it to the appropriate size. Okay, that's a quick and easy one, and we'll move on to our next topic.